Chanukah and culture, and we'll try to understand why Chazal called Greeks as darkness. You remember probably that there is a verse in Torah, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim et haaretz. In Genesis, Hashem created the heaven and the earth was in chaos, and it was darkness upon the what?
Face of the water.
Upon what?
The face of the water.
Which is the Torah.
No. Upon
Surface of the deep.
Tehom. Tehom, it's bis. Upon the bis. Abyss. So Chazal said that abyss it's Rome and darkness it's Greek. And we'll try to understand why they call them darkness. You can say a lot of words, bad words about Greeks. They were not modest, and they were bad people, all kind of terrible things. But darkness, it's opposite. We know that Greeks, they brought to the world enlightenment, the light, a lot of light. They brought all great things in philosophy and the law and the architectures and the art and the literature, all that it's from Greeks.
That's the problem.
Those words in that we use these words when we say philosophy, politics, sport, physics, architecture, all that, geometry, all that is where it's Greek's word. We speak now in Greek language. Theater, all that is from Greek. But why they call them Greek? They call them darkness.
Because Aristoteles.
No.
No, because Aristoteles said that the world it lives forever by itself, and so it's not. They don't recognize it as a creation of Hashem, and so this is darkness because they deny the presence of Hashem.
It's almost what I want to tell, but a little bit different. There were in Greek's philosophy, what their basis was that they said the very important and famous expression that a man, it's a measuring of everything. It was Protagoras. You have here, I'll show you. Yeah. No, that. Now I understand. It's two pages here, so you should take two. Protagoras said the very famous expression. It's you have it in first source. He says, "Man is measure of all things." It means that it was a system, Greek system. It calls anthropocentros. Anthropocentrum. It means that the man is the middle. It is the center of all your measuring. What is good for man is good. What is bad for man is bad. Don't talk to me about God, about the world to come, about all kinds of philosophical ideas. Man. This is the measuring of all things. And what's bad in that? The bad is that what I tell you, a story that happened to me many years ago. Um, I was a professor in Tel Aviv University, and I met a lot of people, and I was in good relationship with them. And one of my friends, he invited me to some symposium, like some discussion in public with a lot of people about faith and morality. That was the name of this symposium: faith and morality. And I came there. I was a religious man. I came to this symposium, and suddenly I figure out that I'm there. I play main role. I'm the one who represent religion, and all other people there, they're against of me. They are atheistic, and they are non-belief, and they want to prove to me, like, but not to me, to all of them, to each other, that that it's impossible to be a moral person if you believe in God. What their conception was, why it's impossible. They want to say, they say this kind of thing. They say, listen, why I'm not still, because I want to be good person. I want to be moral. That's why I'm not still. But why you don't steal? Because you afraid of God. You can be terrible person. Yes. But why you not steal? Because you're afraid of punishment, of the hell, yes. Of you'll do the. But it's not morality. Morality, it's only when you, with no other obligation, with no other inflation, you want to be moral person, and that's it. And if you believe in God, you cannot be moral, because you always reliant on some laws, and that they wanted to show that, and now I have to represent religion, and they will show me that I'm wrong. That was a game, the name of the game. And I sit. They put me on the stage, like, and like in the main guilty. This house in the court, when there is bench of guilty people. Yeah. I sit there, and they said that and that, and they gave me examples. All kind of like, I've heard. And now they say, okay, so now what do you have to say about that? I said to them, I don't know, maybe you're right. I don't know. But I want to share with you some conflict and some doubts that that a friend of mine asked me, and I didn't know what to say. So I want to share with you this case that happened to me. I have some friend that he is a psychologist, and he lives in Russia, and he tells me a story like this. Some his patient came to him and wanted to ask his advice. This patient left his house when he was 13 years old. He went in Russia. There are like schools for army, like they prepare children. It's it's like they live already in army, and and after he became the officer, and he married, divorced, and continue. And now he's he's a colonel of Russian Soviet army. He decided to leave and he didn't. He knew that he wasn't. He has no chance to be general, like to be in higher level. So he left colonel. Now he's 45 years old, and he has no family. His parents died. He has no friends because people that in the army, they in Russia especially, they move a lot from place to place. He has no friends, no family. He knows that only in the house of their parents it was a sister. The sister, she get married, she has child, and she divorced, and now she lived in this house with when he was born there, and he decided to visit her. They in those 30 years that he was in army, he almost never saw her. She was 5 years old when he left his house. He almost does not, but she's the only sister. He went there. They met his nephew. Say he has a nephew. Okay, nice. And suddenly he pay attention that they understand each other very much. They are very in good, like a soul that the same soul. She told him all her life, and he understand her, and he told her, and she understand him. Nobody in the world understand him so much like his sisters. It was something very special, and they decided to marry.
Very moral.
And now he asked this psychologist, is there any problem that I married my sister? And the psychologist said, listen, it's a deep question, it's a deep problem. And he asked me, what should I tell them? I said, what did you tell until now? He says, what can I tell? Who am I? What I represent what? Why should I tell them not? What's the problem? They don't want to have more children, so there won't be any problem. So why not? And now I ask you, my dear friends, professors in Tel Aviv University, why they shouldn't marry? What's the problem? If Protagoras is right and man is a measure of all things, he is measure of morality. So what's the problem that they will marry with each other? And they talk a little bit to each other, but it wasn't, what kind of, they didn't give any answer. And I told them, it's not like some anonymous, some story that I tell you now. That happened all the time, not only in Russia, in all the world. It's always happened. 10 years ago in America, some woman wanted to get married his son. Monica Mars, her name, she fell in love with her son. He was 18 years old and she was 36 years old. Well, they cannot be man and wife.
Where's the morality?
And they married. And the main story here is her husband of Monica Mars. He says, like an ex-husband, he says, but what's the problem? Why not? They enjoyed each other, they love each other. Why not? They they hurt anyone, they do something bad to someone. What does mean morality? Morality, it means that what it's like it's important, like a famous golden rule calls. What you don't want that someone did to you, you don't do that to someone else, right? So they didn't hurt anyone. So what's the problem? Here you have this story in source 4a. Monica Mers have he up gave up her son for adoption when she was 16. 18 years later, the two meet and fell in love. She may now be sent to prison for incest. And they really, both of them, they were in prison for 18 months. And they get out of prison. Now they live together. Happy family. Her father, no, it's a mistake. His father and former husband of Monica actually support the relationship. It is not as if they hurting anyone. I've heard this interview with this guy, with his father, Peterson, his name. And he's his culture, normal, but it's not like some wild guy who, no. Culture, rational. And I've heard that it is not if they hurting anyone. Why do you care what they do in the how mommy play with her child? Why you interrupting their life? Mommy loves her child, her boy.
I can't take that.
And again, I ask you, my dear friends, why not? What's the problem?
They didn't read the story of Yaakov, the tent, with his sons.
The what?
The story of Yaakov with who is it? Yehuda? Who slept with the other ones with his mother?
No.
They didn't read that story.
No. It was some. It's not. The thing is that it's the Reuven slept with one of wives of Yaakov,
yes,
with Bilhah, and that was sin.
Correct.
They didn't present. Torah doesn't
represent
show
as a
it
relationship.
like a normal, like okay, what's the problem?
I got you.
It's one thing, and another thing. Chazal says in Masechet Shabbat, they say that is not, that it never happened. Why it's written in Torah like that? It's in order to show us what Reuven really said to her father, and it's look like that he slept with her.
I got you. Understood.
Yeah. But the thing here that if Protagoras right, and you, my colleagues, say that everything should be only rational with no God, morality it's not connected to some faith. So what's the problem?
There is no problem if that's the
Another story. In all the world today, almost in all the world, in Europe, in America, everybody can come and invite his own death, suicide, like it calls euthanasia. But in some places in Europe, in Belgium, for example, and in Switzerland, they can do it to young children also. And if children ask to do that and their parents agree, they will do. And that would happen in Belgium. You have 4B, two children aged 9 and 11, euthanized in the past 2 years in Belgium, are the youngest children to undergo of official and legal euthanasia procedure. It was legal. What's the problem? And you know what? When it's come from, all those things, it comes from Greek's literature and theater and art. And I told them, to those colleagues, about one of famous Greeks author. His name Euripides. I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe Euripides.
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 Yeah.
Euripides. He wrote the Medea. In Medea, it's a story about some woman that she fell in love with Greek's hero, Jason. And she treated her father, and she ran away from her home, and she with this Jason to Greeks. And in Greece, they married. They had two boys, two children. And then Jason came one day to her at home, and he says, I want to divorce with you. Why? I'm bad, I did something bad. No, you are perfect. So why you want to divorce? Because I met someone else, and and I fell in love with her. But why? No, I love her. I won't marry her. And she said, but think about what you do to me. I cannot go back to my home because I did something bad to my father and to her brothers. And here I have nobody except of you. So what you I am not, he says, love is above everything. Like Monica Mars almost. Love is above everything. So she decided to pay him back, and she decided to kill her two children. And she has long monologue in this play that she's sitting with a knife and she's crying why she has to kill her small children. They're so cute, they're so good. It's only because of your father. Your father is guilty and I have to kill you. And she killed them. She killed her children. Okay, this is the end of the story. The problem is that according to Greek's mythology, gods, they help her to escape from punishment. When Jason figured out what happened, he start to call police. It's not like someone that they will capture her. And she ran away. And Gera, or Hera, I don't know how to say it, like one of these goddess, she sent her horse as a fire, and she went and she ran away. And then she made from her goddess, and she became she's positive character. She's not someone like they present her like she's crazy, she's criminal, she's terrible. No, she's good. Why? Because she's straight with her heart, and she was hurt by her husband, and who is guilty in all this story? It's Jason. and she was forced to do that, and all kind of things, and that's what they show. This is the story in Greek culture. Now, okay, we can say, wow, boy, they are crazy, those people. Baruch Hashem, we are not belong to them. They lived about 2,500 years ago. They are barbarical, and we are not like this, and we are not. No, it's not. It's not true. This play became one of the most popular play in the world. They present this play in all theaters in the world until today. In Israel also, they play this play, and they show about here. They did opera that calls Medea, and ballet that calls Medea, and they draw here. And in NASA, they gave to Medea, to one of the star, they called the name of Medea, and they make movies, a lot of movies about Medea. And they did the sculpture in one town, huge sculpture in nowadays, sculpture of Medea. I will show you all that. I brought here especially this thing. You cannot believe the best the opera singer Maria Callas. She was very famous. She sing the opera Medea. Look here. You see this picture? This sculpture of Medea. Just a moment.
זה לא עבודה זרה?
בטח שעבודה זרה. And that is Sarah Bernard. Sarah Bernard was very famous actress 100 years ago. Look, she played in a theater. How? Medea. And this is opera Medea. You see, this is a film Medea. And this sculpture. And that is amphora. You know what it is, amphora? It's Greeks, they have a lot of, in Louvre today, this amphora stand. And you see in this amphora, it's like Medea killing her children with knife, you see? And that they present like something good. Because if it was some terrible, okay, so terrible, forget it. Don't mention these crazy things. No, they put in the Louvre, and they painting, and they playing until today in all theaters in the world. At each time, it's this interpretation of those operas. It's not like a wow. You see, there are people. This is Maria Callas opera. They say, oh. This is the story. And I told everything that I told you now, I told to my colleagues there. And they asked me, so what do you think? Today in Belgium, they killed those children because of Medea? I say, yes. But maybe they didn't hear about that at all. Maybe they didn't know about Medea, how they can kill because of Medea. I said, but you have in your home some electricity, some equipment like a refrigerator or microwave. It it calls Medea. You know that there is firm, very very famous. You have at your home some vacuum cleaner, Medea.
My refrigerator is mid.
You have.
Yeah.
You can ask in this AI microwave that of Medea, and you'll find a lot. So it influences in our mind. Yes. Maybe you personal never heard this opera Medea. You never heard about Euripides, and you don't know about Jason anything. Maybe, and most of the cases, the chances that you don't, that you never heard. But your teacher in your school, they know. And if not teacher, they're professor. And if not they're professors, you're someone else. And there's journalists and this and other people. They influence all culture. That influence in our in people. If they know or doesn't know, those ideas comes to your home, to your kitchen. You don't know what the meaning this Medea, like you don't know what meaning this culture, but that has that influence, and that's why it's impossible to be moral person without believing God, because you don't have anything what to tell to this to Monica Mars why she shouldn't marry her son. What's the problem? If everything is lying on Protagoras and what he says, the man is the measure of all things, you are so it's opposite. It's impossible to be moral person without believing God, without a faith. And Rav Kook says, but sometimes you can see that there are good people, moral person, that he is atheistic. So how it can be? Rav Kook says, you know how it can be? It's because he has hidden belief in God. He has in his heart, he do believe. He declare about himself. He says, no, I'm atheistic, I don't believe. But if he a real moral person, he believes. And it's number 5 you have here. The morality of heresy is nothing. For heresy itself is the opposite of justice and fundamental morality. Why? Why it's opposite of morality? The man, since that heritage possess does not stem from their heresy. It doesn't come, who do moral person, it doesn't come from his heresy, but from the hidden recognition of God that lies deep in their soul, a recognition they themselves don't realize. What does it mean? That if he do care about things, it's not always logically. So he really believe in God, but he doesn't realize. And that's what happened to you. I said to my colleagues, you think that you are atheistic, all of you, but But if you're really moral person, you have to believe. And Rav Kook says that in the future it will be revolution. Listen, number 7. The light of repentance will necessarily shine forth, and man will cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, and everything will return to godness of God. The contemporary culture will be erased in all its foundations. It's a literature and theater and institution. All laws whose foundation are emptiness and injustice, all the corrupt and sinful customs of life, all will pass away. Why Rav Kook says that all culture with literature and theater and all institution, all that is foundation of emptiness and injustice. Why? Because think, the most cultured country in the world, it was Germany. They did Shoah. They did, and the most cultured country it was Russia, with such a great culture. They did all Gulag, and they killed millions of their own population. Millions of people they killed in prisons, in communism, and all that. To the most cultured country in the world. And the last thing, 8, look. Behold, a day is coming, and it's not far off, when humanity will awake like bereaved bear. Must bereaved?
Bereaved.
Bereaved, must bereaved.
Crazy bear.
It's a bear that lost his children. That is the meaning. Or like a lion over its prey, to take vengeance. It's like a revenge, like a vengeance upon this despicable
unbelief for all the evil that he's done to her.
Unbelief for all and evil it has done to it. Suddenly, humanity will seek to cast off its chain with great fury and fierce anger. It will demand from unbelief revenge for the good life, for the peace and delight of pure ideas, and etc. etc. And that is the idea of Chanukah. That is the meaning of light of Chanukah and darkness of Greeks, and that what we struggle against of. That is our battle. It's not something little. No, it's like we fight for human beings.
For sure. תודה.
If someone can put it all that gniza, it's you have gniza here in some place.
There is a famous